Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. US Supreme Court clears Mumbai terror attack convict Tahabbur Rana's extradition to India. Visiting Indonesian President Subianto accorded ceremonial reception at Rashtrapati Bhavan, meets Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Russian President Putin dismisses Trump's sanctions threats, says ready for negotiations. Zelensky blames Putin for manipulating. Philippines accuses China of harassing fisheries vessels in the South China Sea, while China claims entry of vessels without permission. And key showdown for Australia Open title. Sabalenka will face Madison Keys in women's singles, while Alexander to take on Sinner in men's singles. Indonesian President Prabowo Subianto, currently on a 3-day visit to India, met Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Hyderabad House in New Delhi. PM Modi extended a warm welcome to the visiting president and discussed ways to further bolster the ties between the two nations. Earlier in the morning, Indonesian President received a ceremonial welcome at the Rashtrapati Bhavan in New Delhi on Saturday. He is the chief guest for the 76th Republic Day celebrations at Kartavya Path on 26th of January. During his remarks, President Subianto referred to India as a great friend and acknowledged New Delhi as one of the first nations to recognize Indonesia's independence.
Indonesia considers India a very great friend. India was one of the first country, maybe the first country to recognize our independence, to support us in our struggle for independence. We will never forget what India did to help us. I'm really honored today, and I'm doubly honored that tomorrow I will be the chief guest at your Republic Day parade.
Visiting Indonesian President Subianto paid homage to Father of the Nation Mahatma Gandhi at Rajghat. Further, he also signed the visitor's book. India's President Draupadi Murmu will address the nation on the eve of Republic Day on January 25. The speech will air at 7 p.m. IST across all Doordarshan channels and Akashvani in Hindi and English, with regional versions following shortly after. Following the initial broadcast, Doordarshan will continue the transmission in various regional languages on its regional channels. This ensures that the President's message reaches every corner of the nation, emphasizing the country's cultural and linguistic diversity. Akashvani will support this outreach, broadcasting the regional language versions starting at 9:30 p.m. IST on its respective regional networks, making the President's address accessible to a broader audience. Doordarshan, the public broadcaster of India, has made special arrangements for the live coverage of Republic Day Parade on 26th of January. Information and Broadcasting Ministry officials visited the site at Kartavya Path in New Delhi to take the stock of such arrangements. DD India correspondent Vishal Baristo reports.
India is all set to celebrate Republic Day parade on January 26th. The day marks the adoption of India's constitution and the country's transition to a republic on January 26, 1950. The grand celebration will showcase country's cultural diversity and military strength, with a special focus on the 75th anniversary of the enactment of Indian Constitution and the theme of Jan Bhagidari, which means people's participation. Two tableaux during the parade will showcase the celebration of 75 years of Constitution. Floral decorations, view cutters will be depicting the theme. Balloons at the end of the program will be released with the banner of this message. The chief guest for the parade will be Prabowo Subianto, President of Republic of Indonesia. The parade will feature a 160-member marching contingent and 190-member band from Indonesia, joining Indian Armed Forces contingents on Kartavya Path in national capital, New Delhi. India's public broadcaster Doordarshan will telecast the entire event live for viewers across the globe. More than 50 cameras have already been set up for the mega event.
So the entire team of Prasar Bharati, both Doordarshan as well as All India Radio, and their all the constituent units, officers, staff, personnel, all of them have been working tirelessly to ensure that the telecast and the radio cast of this very important, the most important event of our country happens smoothly.
The event would be covered in 4K format and would also be aired on Doordarshan's OTT platform Waves.
Each time we try to do something better, something which has not been attempted in the past. So one of the things that we are doing this year on the Doordarshan coverage is that we are deploying full 4K cameras, where for the last 10 years we had been doing an HD coverage. But now in terms of the picture quality, this is going to be about 8 times better compared to previous years.
The parade commences at the iconic Raisina Hill near the Rashtrapati Bhavan or President's House and makes its way along Kartavya Path past India Gate and concludes at the historic Red Fort. Each state will present its beautifully decorated tableau, showcasing its unique culture and traditions, truly embodying the spirit of Jan Bhagidari. From traditional dances to elaborate floral decorations, every element speaks volumes about unity that binds us despite our diversity. Along with Doordarshan, the All India Radio would also air live broadcast of the event. Vishal Baristow's report for DD India.
ISRO, India's premier space agency, in an exclusive conversation with DD India's Shubhendu Ghosh, ISRO chairman said, India is increasingly leveraging its advances in the space sector to support nations of the global south.
Today, the India is globally accepted as a outstanding spacefaring nation. And when you look at the space-related activities, and it is not only for some of the activities, it will help not only India, it is a common thing for all the people. For example, take disaster warning and management, take that climate change monitoring and associated things. So thereby, today, India, we are having collaboration with 60 countries. Out of that, 40 countries were from global south. So we thought that we have to collaborate together, give a leadership role and contribute not only for Indians, for the global society and particularly the global south.
The ISRO chief also shared an update on the ambitious Gaganyaan mission. It is India's first human space mission. 2025 will witness Gaganyaan's uncrewed orbital test mission.
If you take Gaganyaan program, it is meant for taking our own astronaut to the space and bring them back safely. Now, to do entire thing safely, we are planning 3 uncrewed missions. Consecutively, it has to go and we have to succeed. And then, lot of experiments we have to do. For example, including parachute experiments, then crew escape system, demonstration experiment, all these things has to be done. Finally, we will go for the actual mission. Now, this year, important milestone what we are targeted is, apart from other experiments and development works, first uncrewed mission.
And you can watch this exclusive interview with Dr. V. Narayanan, Chairman ISRO, on Saturday at 8:30 p.m. IST or 3 p.m. GMT, only on DD India. And as India celebrates its National Voters' Day, We recognize the significance of this day in promoting democratic values and encouraging citizen participation. DD India's Antara Sinha tells us more.
Democracy is the backbone of a nation, and the power of voting is the voice of its citizens. India is celebrating its 15th National Voters' Day on January 25th, a milestone that follows the remarkable success of the 2024 Lok Sabha elections or general elections. This year's celebration also coincides with the Election Commission of India's 75th anniversary, marking 7 decades of committed service to the nation. The theme of this year's celebration of National Voters' Day is nothing like voting, I vote for sure. It continues from the last year, urging citizens to take pride in exercising their franchise. National Voters' Day plays a vital role in promoting democratic values. The day aims to encourage voter enrollment, especially among young and new voters, promote voter awareness about the electoral process, strengthen democracy by celebrating the Indian Constitution, and promoting informed participation. India's electorate is approaching the 100 crore mark, with 99.1 crore registered voters. The database now includes 21.7 crore young electors in the 18 to 29 age group, alongside a 6-point increase in the electoral gender ratio from 948 in 2024 to 954 in 2025. The significance of National Voters' Day lies in its reminder that every vote counts and has the power to bring about change. It celebrates the Indian Constitution and the Election Commission's efforts to ensure free and fair elections. By observing this day, India showcases its commitment to democracy and citizen participation.
The right to vote is the cornerstone of democracy. It gives citizens a chance to participate in the decision-making process and shape the future of their country. The National Voters' Day encourages rich voter enrollment and participation. With camera person Rajinder Joshi, this is Antara Sinha for DD India.
In a major win for India, the US Supreme Court has cleared 2611 attack convict Tahavur Rana's extradition to India. Rana is wanted in India for his involvement in the 2008 Mumbai attacks. The US Supreme Court dismissed a review petition against Rana's conviction in the case. Rana had filed a petition for a writ of certiorari before US Supreme Court in November last year. This was denied by the Apex Court on January 21st, a day after Donald Trump was sworn in as the American president. Rana is currently detained at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Los Angeles. This was Rana's last legal chance not to be extradited to India, as he has already lost the legal battle in several federal courts, including the US Court of Appeals for the North Circuit in San Francisco. India was seeking the extradition of Rana, a Canadian national of Pakistani origin, in the 2008 Mumbai terrorist attack case. Rana has been declared a fugitive by India and is facing multiple criminal charges. And now to all the latest from the Mahakumbh, the largest gathering of humans on the planet. Ahead of the auspicious occasion of another Amrit Snan on Mauni Amavasya, Uttar Pradesh's Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath will visit Prayagraj on Saturday to review the preparations. Millions of pilgrims are expected to flock to the holy city of Prayagraj to take part in the Amrit Snan in the mega spiritual event Mahakumbh 2025 that will be observed on January 29th. More than a total of 102 million people have taken a dip in Mahakumbh since its commencement. All right, and let's go live across to Hyderabad House in New Delhi, where delegations of India and Indonesia exchanging agreements in the presence of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and visiting President Prabowo Subianto. This is live visuals that we are getting for you from Hyderabad House in New Delhi. Delegations of India and Indonesia exchanging agreements in the presence of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and visiting President of Republic of Indonesia, Prabowo Subianto. The relations between both India and Indonesia have strengthened over the years, and bilateral trade between both the countries have also witnessed a boom over the years. This is a very crucial and important visit of the President of Republic of Indonesia, Prabowo Subianto. Both countries share rich history of cultural and commercial ties. These are the visuals that we are getting for you, for all the viewers who have just tuned in to DD India. These are the live visuals that we are getting for you from Hyderabad House in New Delhi. All right, we are heading for a short break, but you stay tuned to DD India.
From the historic milestone of Chandrayaan-3 to the recent space docking mission to the ambitious vision of Gaganyaan, it is an exciting phase for India's space program.
Today, the India is globally accepted as a outstanding spacefaring nation. India, we are having collaboration with 60 countries. Out of that, 40 countries were from global south. If you take Gaganyaan program, it is meant for taking our own astronaut to the space and bring them back safely. Now, to do entire thing safely, we are planning 3 uncrewed missions.
You're watching DD India Live. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj. And in a historic vote, US Vice President J.D. Vance broke a 50-50 tie to confirm Pete Hegseth, a former Fox News personality, as the new US Secretary of Defense. 3 Republican senators voted against Hegseth's confirmation, citing concerns about his suitability for the role. However, with Vance's tie-breaking vote, Hegseth is set to become the new Pentagon chief. US President Trump expressed happiness on the successful Senate confirmation of his defense secretary pick, Pete Hegseth.
No, I'm honored to have Pete. I think Pete's going to be a great Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, and we're honored to have him.
United States, the world's biggest donor, froze virtually all foreign aid, making exceptions only for emergency food and military funding for Israel and Egypt. Secretary of State Marco Rubio sent an internal memo days after President Donald Trump took office, vowing an America First policy of tightly restricting assistance overseas. The sweeping order appears to affect everything from development assistance to military aid, including to Ukraine, which received billions of dollars in weapons under Joe Biden presidency as it tries to repeal a Russian invasion. The directive also means a pause of at least several months of US funding for a health initiative that buys antiretroviral drugs to treat the disease in developing countries, largely in Africa. US also made an exception for contributions to emergency food assistance following crises around the world, including Sudan and Syria. Russian President Vladimir Putin dismissed US President Trump's threat of new sanctions against Russia on Friday, stating that he doesn't believe Trump would take any action that might hurt the American economy. Speaking to Russian state television, Putin reiterated his willingness to meet the newly inaugurated US president soon. While Trump has also voiced interest in a meeting, there is still no word from the White House or the Kremlin on when it might happen. All right, let's go live across to Hyderabad House in New Delhi, where delegations of India and Indonesia exchanging agreements in the presence of Prime Minister Modi and visiting President Prabowo Subianto.
Of a report followed by press statement by our 2 leaders. First, we shall witness the exchange of an MOU on health cooperation between Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, India, and the Ministry of Health, Indonesia. This will be exchanged on the Indonesian side by His Excellency Budi G. Sadikin, Minister of Health, and on the Indian side by Shri S. Jaishankar, External Affairs Minister. Ministers, please. Thank you, sir. Next, we have exchange of two MOUs. First, MOU in the field of traditional medicine, quality assurance between Pharmacopoeia Commission for the Indian Medicine and Homeopathy, Ministry of Ayush, and the Indonesian Food and Drug Authority, and the MOU on maritime safety and security cooperation between Indian Coast Guard and the Bakmala, Indonesia. These two will be exchanged on the Indonesian side by His Excellency Sugiono, Minister for Foreign Affairs, and on the Indian side by Dr. S. Jaishankar, External Affairs Minister. Thank you, sir. We next have the cultural exchange program between Ministry of Culture of India and the Ministry of Culture Indonesia. These will be exchanged on the Indonesian side by His Excellency Fadli Zon, Minister for Culture, and on the Indian side by Shri Pavitra Margarita, Minister of State, External Affairs. Sir. Thank you, sir. Last but not least, we have the exchange of MOU on cooperation in the field of digital development between Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology India and the Ministry of Communication and Digital Affairs Indonesia. These will be exchanged on the Indonesian side by Her Excellency Mutia Vidya Hafid, Minister of Communication and Digital, and on the Indian side by Dr. S. Jaishankar, External Affairs Minister. Thank you, sir. We now have a presentation of the report of the third India-Indonesia CEOs Forum. This will be presented jointly by Mr. Ajay Sriram, Managing Director, DCM Sriram Consolidation Limited, and Anindya Bakri, Chairman, Indonesia Chamber of Commerce and Industry. And these will be received by, on the Indonesian side, His Excellency Sugiono, Minister for Foreign Affairs, and Dr. S. Jaishankar, External Affairs Minister of India. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the exchange ceremony. I now request the spokesperson of Ministry of External Affairs to conduct the remainder of the proceedings.
Namaskar, good afternoon. Your Excellency, Mr. Prabowo Subianto, President of the Republic of Indonesia, Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi, Honorable Ministers, members of both delegations, distinguished guests, and friends from the media. We will now have the press statements. May I request Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi, to give his remarks to the media.
Your Excellency, Rashtrapati, and my brother Prabowo Subianto, दोनों देशों के डेलीगेट्स, मीडिया के सभी साथी, नमस्कार। भारत के पहले गणतंत्र दिवस पर इंडोनेशिया हमारा मुख्य अतिथि देश था और यह हमारे लिए अत्यंत गर्व का विषय है कि जब हम गणतंत्र के 75 वर्ष मना रहे हैं, इंडोनेशिया एक बार फिर इस ऐतिहासिक अवसर का हिस्सा बना है। इस अवसर पर मैं राष्ट्रपति प्रबोव उसका भारत में हार्दिक स्वागत करता हूं। साथियों, 2018 में मेरी इंडोनेशिया यात्रा के दौरान हमने अपने साझेदारी को कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव स्ट्रेटेजिक पार्टनरशिप के रूप में आगे बढ़ाया था। आज राष्ट्रपति प्रबोवो के साथ आपसी सहयोग के विभिन्न पहलुओं पर व्यापक चर्चा हुई। रक्षा क्षेत्र में सहयोग बढ़ाने के लिए हमने तय किया है कि डिफेंस मैन्युफैक्चरिंग और सप्लाई चेन में साथ काम किया जाएगा। हमने मैरीटाइम सिक्योरिटी, साइबर सिक्योरिटी, काउंटर टेररिज्म और डी रेडिकलाइजेशन में सहयोग पर भी बल दिया है। आज मैरीटाइम सेफ्टी और सिक्योरिटी में हुए समझौते से क्राइम प्रिवेंशन, सर्च एंड रेस्क्यू और कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग में हमारा सहयोग और मजबूत होगा। पिछले कुछ वर्षों में हमारी द्विपक्षीय व्यापार में तेजी आई है और पिछले वर्ष यह $30 बिलियन से अधिक हो गया है। इसे और बढ़ाने के लिए हमने मार्केट एक्सेस और ट्रेड बास्केट को डाइवर्सिफाई करने पर बात की है। प्राइवेट सेक्टर भी हमारे प्रयासों में बराबर का भागीदार है। आज हुई सीईओ फोरम की बैठक और निजी क्षेत्र में जो समझौते हुए हैं उनका हम स्वागत करते हैं। फिनटेक, आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस, इंटरनेट ऑफ थिंग्स और डिजिटल पब्लिक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर जैसे क्षेत्रों में हमने आपसी सहयोग को और सशक्त करने का निर्णय लिया है। हेल्थ और फूड सिक्योरिटी के सेक्टर में भारत अपने अनुभव जैसे कि मिड डे मील स्कीम और पब्लिक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन सिस्टम इंडोनेशिया के साथ साझा कर रहा है। हमने तय किया है कि एनर्जी, क्रिटिकल मिनरल्स, साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी, स्पेस और स्टेम एजुकेशन के क्षेत्रों में भी साथ मिलकर काम किया जाएगा। दोनों देशों की डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट अथॉरिटीज के बीच जॉइंट एक्सरसाइज की जाएगी। साथियों, भारत और इंडोनेशिया के संबंध हजारों वर्ष पुराने हैं। रामायण और महाभारत से प्रेरित गाथाएं और बाली यात्रा हमारे लोगों के बीच अनवरत सांस्कृतिक और ऐतिहासिक संबंधों के जीते जागते प्रमाण है। मुझे खुशी है कि इंडोनेशिया में बोरोबुदुर बौद्ध मंदिर के बाद अब हम प्रम्बानन हिंदू मंदिर के संरक्षण में भी योगदान करेंगे। साथ ही वर्ष 2025 को भारत आसियान ईयर ऑफ टूरिज्म के रूप में मनाया जाएगा। इससे भारत और इंडोनेशिया के बीच सांस्कृतिक आदान प्रदान और पर्यटन को भी बढ़ावा मिलेगा। साथियों, आसियान और इंडो पैसिफिक क्षेत्र में इंडोनेशिया हमारा महत्वपूर्ण पार्टनर है। इस पूरे क्षेत्र में शांति, सुरक्षा, समृद्धि और रूल बेस्ड ऑर्डर को बनाए रखने के लिए हम दोनों प्रतिबद्ध हैं। हम सहमत हैं कि अंतर्राष्ट्रीय कानूनों के अनुरूप फ्रीडम ऑफ नेविगेशन सुनिश्चित होना चाहिए। हमारी एक्ट ईस्ट पॉलिसी में आसियान यूनिटी और सेंट्रलिटी को बल दिया गया है। G20 आसियान, इंडियन ओशन रिम एसोसिएशन जैसे मंचों पर हम मिलकर काम करते रहे हैं और अब हम इंडोनेशिया की ब्रिक्स सदस्यता का भी स्वागत करते हैं। इन सभी मंचों पर ग्लोबल साउथ के देशों के हितों और उनकी प्राथमिकताओं पर हम सहयोग और समन्वय से काम करेंगे। एक्सेलेंसी, कल गणतंत्र दिवस समारोह में मुख्य अतिथि के रूप में आपकी भारत यात्रा हमारे लिए गर्व का विषय है। इस समारोह में पहली बार इंडोनेशिया के मार्चिंग दस्तों को देखने के लिए हम सभी उत्सुक हैं। मैं एक बार फिर आपका और आपके डेलीगेशन का भारत में हार्दिक स्वागत करता हूं। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
Thank you, sir. Thank you. May I now request His Excellency, Mr. Prabowo Subianto, President of the Republic of Indonesia, to give his remarks to the media.
Your Excellency, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, my good brother, esteemed ministers, high officials from Indonesia and from India, friends from the media, once again, Namaste. I would like to reiterate my highest gratitude for the great honor given to me being received today in my first state visit to India. I was received with great honor today by the President of India, and we had a very intensive, very frank discussion between Prime Minister Modi and his government and myself and my government team. We discussed many key sectors of common interest in which we would like to accelerate the level of cooperation. Of course, in the economic field, this is very important, and I have given direction to my team to accelerate, to expedite, to cut bureaucracy, too much over-regulation, and to put at the foremost the common bilateral interest of India and of Indonesia. I have given direction, and I will continue to give direction, that we need to accelerate and increase the economic partnership with India. If necessary, we will prioritize this relationship in the interest of long-term strategic partnership, which we have agreed upon. We, of course, feel very honored that I will be the chief guest tomorrow at the Republic Day Parade of India. And because the first chief guest in India's first Republic Day Parade was President Sukarno, so this is a great honor for me that I will represent Indonesia tomorrow. Also, the first time an Indonesian military contingent has taken part in a military parade outside of Indonesia. So once again, thank you very much for the great honor extended to us. Therefore, on this occasion, I would like to extend our congratulations for the celebration of India's 76th Republic Day parade, Republic Day. To all the people of India, may prosperity and success always be with India. Indonesia considers India a long-time friend. In our struggle for independence, history tells us that India was one of the first strong supporter of our independence struggle. India sent assistance, financial aid, medical aid in our struggle for independence. Many Indian leaders supported us in our critical time. Therefore, even now, the embassy of the Republic of Indonesia is on a land donated by the Indian government before we were recognized by many other countries in the world. So this shows the depth of our relationship, and Indonesia will never forget this support. So we consider this partnership very important, and we would like to enhance and accelerate the level of cooperation between us. Also, India was a co-founder of the non-aligned movement in the Bandung Conference of 1955, and now India continues to champion South-South cooperation and to be the voice of the Global South. And therefore, we also would like to thank India for supporting our permanent membership in BRICS. We are convinced that this cooperation will be beneficial to global stability and regional cooperation. In our discussions in the field of trade, investment, tourism, health, energy, security cooperation, digital, AI, IT, energy, we agreed to strengthen this cooperation. I'm also very pleased to have very successful and good discussions with many leaders of Indian industry, and we discuss in detail the increase of Indian participation in our economy. We are opening our economy to investment, participation in the field of infrastructure, and we invite Indian groups to take part in the infrastructure program of Indonesia in all fields. We also thank you, Prime Minister, for your assistance. We study your programs, we send technical teams, and now we are implementing many of the programs which for us has been good examples in which we would like to basically to learn from your experience. In all fields, we are progressing. We have ratified our defense cooperation agreement recently, and now we will send a high-level defense delegation as soon as possible at the convenience of your government. In the education sector, we thank you also for the assistance given to us in increasing our students to be sent to India, and also inviting Indian groups, Indian institutions to open institutions in Indonesia. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, I thank you for the great welcome given to me, and I am sure that this visit will mark the new start of an accelerated program of cooperation and friendship. I look forward to greater cooperation. Once again, thank you for giving me a great welcome, great honor, and of course, we hope that one day I can reciprocate and I can receive you with the same honor that you have received me at the time of your convenience, Excellency. Thank you very much, my brother.
Thank you, sir. That concludes the press statements. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your presence.
That was live from Hyderabad House in New Delhi, where several MOUs in various fields were signed between India and Indonesia. And in fact, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that it's a matter of great pride that the President of Republic of Indonesia is here as chief guest in the Republic Day celebrations. News and updates will continue. You stay tuned to DD India.